All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 10 bonus episodes. This is now for Season 10, Episode 21, Diverged. Okay, and spoiler warning if you guys have not had a chance to see the episode yet, but nothing too major or anything like that. It's not like, we're going to be seeing any huge major character deaths or any shocking, crazy stuff happening right now in Walking Dead with these bonus episodes. So this makes for the second last episode of the bonus episodes, and the second last episode technically in terms of their naming convention for The Walking Dead Season 10. We have one more episode left next weekend, which is for the Here's Negan episode, which you guys know I'm very excited to go ahead and see. So this episode, continuing along, you guys kind of know how I've been feeling about these bonus episodes. I liked them a lot when we started. We got to the third one, I thought it was good. And then the fourth one, we're only getting 6 for this sort of a half season or bonus season, bonus episodes of season 10. So I liked it up until the third episode. By the time we got to the fourth episode, the princess episode with Ezekiel and the Commonwealth, Splinter, I was not a fan of it at all. Maybe I was a little bit more harsh than I should have been. I don't know necessarily if it's the worst episode ever. Some people liked it. A lot of people didn't, so it's kind of polarizing with that. We can probably talk about it more this weekend coming up in the live stream, but after I watched it the first time, I thought it was one of the weakest episodes they've done. Granted, the bonus episodes are way harder for them to do, so we have to take that into consideration. We can't really put them on the same scale as we usually do for Walking Dead, but it's still Walking Dead, so we still expect to see something along the lines of the usual quality that we get for Walking Dead, and I feel like a few of these episodes have been, but certainly episode 4 was not for me. This episode, continuing along, we get basically 3 characters shown in this one, and I want to say, only 3 the whole episode. We get Daryl, Carol, and then we have Jerry as kind of support. So, as we've seen with these episodes, they have to be very focused. They have to be very character-centric because you can only have a few characters per episode, whether it be Daryl and Carol, maybe just the 2 of them, or maybe Leah as well, or in this episode, Daryl, Carol, and Jerry, or Princess Ezekiel and a few of the others around in episode 4. Similar to that, but in this one, literally only those 3. Everyone else is kind of background. And they did an okay job with making it feel like there were other survivors around in the background and whatnot. And a dog was in this one as well, too, which was actually, used pretty good considering, right? So about as good as you could probably do with a Walking Dead episode with only 3 characters in the whole thing. I actually did enjoy this one. I won't be complaining about this episode because I actually did kind of like it. I thought that it was kind of fun. It was kind of light. It was kind of different for Walking Dead. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. A lot of the Walking Dead episodes are very kind of doom and gloom. They're horror based. They're very scary sometimes. They can be intense. They can be brutal. They can be horrific. So it's an episode like this is definitely not bad to have in the series. This one's sort of like, for me, kind of like a day in the life of. So getting to see what it's like for our survivors when there isn't a war happening, or there isn't like a huge zombie herd coming in, or there isn't some kind of external villain or threat or something happening at that very time. Like this for me would be sort of like, what would it be like living in the Walking Dead universe in Alexandria or around Alexandria on a regular given day? And I kind of feel like that's what this episode does for me. So as such, I actually liked it because it just felt like kind of light and fun and kind of happy. And you have Carol; she's trying to make stone soup, where she's trying to make food, and there's this rat that keeps coming out, and it's by, and rats are gross, man. They're disgusting. So you guys know I hate rats, right? They're so nasty. We have a cat that hangs out in the backyard sometimes. Sometimes I feed her and stuff, and I put out like a cat bed for her to. She's not an indoor cat; she's an outside cat, but she leaves me presents during the summertime a lot. And so I got to make sure I don't leave food out. But she'll get them anyway. So some days I'll come out and go to cut the grass, and I'll have like 4 of these things I gotta, or I cut the grass, I gotta deal with these. And she just leaves. But sometimes she'll clean up after herself, and she'll take them off to, I don't know what she does with them, where she puts them, but her trophies. So, but sometimes she leaves them out for me. It's effing disgusting. So I hate rats. So I understand exactly what it's like. And then she's trying to sleep and stuff. And if they're around, or you think there's one in your vicinity, you're not going to be able to sleep so well. Or a dog kind of wakes her up, which is kind of fun. And I kind of liked it. I feel like Carol is sort of like our zombie apocalypse mom. So you can never hate on. It almost feels like you can never hate on whatever she's doing. You can't blame her for anything. I kind of get that vibe, or get that sense, even if like there's a whole caving in on people as a result of her actions. I still try to, in my mind, find a way to justify it, because it's like it's just what it is. So you have Diverged. So you have Daryl and Carol in this episode. They kind of go their separate ways. But they have, this long-running friendship, so they get on each other's nerves sometimes, and then they sort of, we get the idea, it's going to happen, right? They diverge at the crossroads here. They go their separate ways in the intro here, but they end up, they're going to always end up coming back together at some point, which is basically pretty much what we see by the end of the episode. So I like the intro and everything. I thought it was kind of fun that Dog chooses to go with Carol. I found that to be a little bit like, that's kind of surprising, right? And Daryl's like, okay, whatever. So roll the intro. You get them going their separate ways. You get the stuff with Jerry and Carol as she's going to try to make food and whatnot. Again, very day in the life of, kind of lighter, kind of comedy, kind of like different funny parts when she kind of loses and starts smashing up the drywall and stabbing and everything because she gets so frustrated at this thing that keeps getting away. Kind of some funny parts where Dog seems to be interested in going to get it, and then the thing comes out and he doesn't go after it, and then it ends up getting away again. She puts out a trap and the food's gone, but there's no rat there, or she kind of catches it and then she lifts it up and then it kind of gets away again. So it's pretty fun stuff, and I thought for a second that the episode might end off with her like killing this rat and making rat soup or something. Can you eat? Probably not a good idea to eat them, right? Or something. It sort of reminded me. There's a Breaking Bad episode where I think it's called The Fly, where there's this fly that gets in, and they spend the episode going around trying to catch this fly. It sort of made me feel a little bit like that for Walking Dead, like Walking Dead version of that. This is the closest we'll probably get to something like that. So it's kind of like it's kind of like annoying, but then fun, but then light, but then kind of happy at the same time. So we have Daryl who goes out, and similarly with him too, it's kind of a bit tongue in cheek, and that whole thing is he's given her his utility knife, his multi-tool. So when his bike sort of has a leak and needs a new whatever that was connector piece that he needs, like a tube to reconnect it up again, he is going and checking through different vehicles and whatnot, and he can't quite get one he can't get one exact, so he's trying to use his Bowie knives, but they're too big to kind of cut one to fit. So he has to go and kind of find a new utility or multi-tool, and he ends up seeing some different walkers around that are like wearing military type gear. So he goes to get one. He's got to go through a bunch of walkers to get it, and then he ends up kind of falling and getting it down, and then taking it. And I think he gets some food from them as well too. It looks like it to me, like some dry food or something, or different packages of stuff that could be useful for them after. But it's kind of funny. I like the part where he's kind of under the car, and there's a walker in the car, and he's trying to get like this the piece for his bike, like a tube that he could use for his bike. And the walker's moving around in the car, and then the car almost crushes him, like falls on him. The kind of a silly, fun way for Daryl to die. If after all the different things he's been through, he's beaten a tank, he's beaten thousands of walkers and everything else, and he gets crushed by a car trying to get like a piece for his bike that he needs. So that was kind of fun. I like that. I like it when he goes through all this to get the utility knife, and then when he gets back, he finds out there's a whole bunch of walkers around. They're like crawling around that likely have the same thing on them. So it's kind of fun stuff. By the end of the episode, Daryl ends up, coming back, and they sort of, him and Carol sort of, it's kind of like with friends, right? If you've ever gotten into it with a friend, then after you just better maybe not to talk about it. So they don't really talk about it by the end of the episode. But I like that when Jerry's checking in, she just wants to, can you let me suffer in peace? So that was pretty fun. and some talk of Ezekiel there and whatnot, because we got to remember that, Carol had lived at the kingdom for a long time, even though we didn't get to see it too much in the series. There was episodes with it, but it was there, but something that could slip your mind because the kingdom's destroyed now and everything. But yeah, she was there for a long time with Ezekiel, part of the time skip, wasn't it, too? So would have been a really long time. So we got to kind of remember that, even though we didn't really see it too much in the TV series, considering time skips and whatnot and how much it actually was for. But with Henry and the whole thing, so it was kind of a silly, fun episode. Definitely nothing crazy. Would I say it was not really boring, but nothing super incredible, crazy to write home about. I'll give it a 6.7 out of 10. I wanted to give it like a 7, but then I thought about kind of the shaky cam, because at the beginning of the episode, they're kind of just like walking through, or Daryl will be riding the bike or whatever, and for some reason it just blanks my eyes out. And I put my glasses on as I was watching it. It was just like, what hurts my eyes, because it's like it seems like they had to film them from a distance, so as they're walking through, the camera or something is like moving back at the same time to stay that amount of distance away, or maybe it's zoomed in at all. And whenever you have a zoom in, if you move at all, it's like it really picks it up. So it seems like they did the best they could do. But, I'm not used to any kind of shaky cam sort of stuff for Walking Dead. Not intentional anyway. So that's what I'll give it for this episode, 6.7 out of 10. I think that's fair for Walking Dead. But I did actually kind of like it. So I don't want to make it sound like, I hated the episode or the episode was useless or anything. Actually, I thought it was kind of cool because it's sort of like a chill, kind of lighter episode for Walking Dead. We don't get that often. And you got to imagine that they would have days like this. It can't all be whispers and alpha, beta fights and all this crazy stuff. There has to be days when they're just kind of like going through the motions, killing a few zombies, and trying to just make some food and kill rats and whatnot. It's like yeah, that probably they probably would go through days like that. Not that we always get to see them, but this one was okay. So let me know what you guys thought. If you got a chance to see the episode, leave your comments below, and I'll probably see you guys back again Sunday night for a live stream. Pretty excited to watch Invincible, which is coming up soon here to release. It might be released by the time you're watching this. Probably is on Amazon Video. It is the other main comic book series from Robert Kirkman. So he created Walking Dead, and he created Invincible, starring Stephen Yeun, Glenn from Walking Dead. He's playing the lead voice actor for Invincible. Animated. It's an animated series. Lots of blood, lots of cool stuff. So high hopes for Invincible. It does look really good. So check it out if you want to see, if you're a fan of Walking Dead and you don't mind animated stuff. If you hate animated stuff, you probably won't like it. But I'd say give it a try, man, because the comics were awesome. And so we'll definitely do a review soon of Invincible, the TV series, at least the premiere episode, if not more, because I am a huge fan of Invincible as well. Leave your comments below. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode. Did you think it was boring? Did you like it as well? Or did you think it was not all that useful? And then certainly be excited for Here's Negan if you're a Negan fan like I am. Can't wait to see that next weekend. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you again soon for another. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.